guys are killing it. It's look at 9 o'clock on the dot. We are in our seats. So thank you for that. So we can take a quick minute. We want to welcome you to the Lake County Usage chapter of our 1 Million Cups. If you can take a real quick minute to do the online check-in if you have not. As we get started, we're kind of, again, we've talked about that we're kind of changing things as we go. We're evolving as we go to try to make this the best 1 million cups in the country, which I think we already are. So we did change up on the sign-in. We put a sign-up sheet downstairs, and then we have a second sign-up sheet upstairs. So what we will be doing going forward to save time and congestion at the sign-up, if you have been here before, you do not need to sign in on the sheets. Just throw a business card in the business card bucket and then come on in. If you want to present and you have been here before, then we're going to ask you to go ahead and sign in. And then first timers, we do ask you to sign in as our first time guest, and then after that, just a card in the bucket. And there'll be signings down. So if downstairs gets a little backed up, just go upstairs. So if that works for everybody, we're going to try that just to make it a little bit easier in the morning time for everybody to come in and get their meeting started. So with that also, we want to ask, we've had a lot of people that have been here multiple times. If you have thoughts or suggestions on how to make the meeting even better than what it is, please reach out to one of the organizers. We're always looking for ways that we can improve the process and the program and make this even better for you. So, if you're first time and you're new, the Wi-Fi is mega yes, password is mega useless. Couple housekeeping things before we get started. We do ask to keep cell phones silent and side conversations to a minimum, or silent and none at all as well, because we want to give our presenter, and we have a first time for our meeting today, so we're really excited about that. But we want to give them our full attention, and so we can listen to them to find out where we're going to be able to help our presenter. We're going to be live on Facebook, so if you know anybody that is not able to attend, please invite them to watch our Facebook. I think the thing that we always talk about every week, once they watch this on Facebook, they're going to want to attend live. Look at the turnout has been great and is growing every week, but we also need to grow our social media presence. So please tell your friends if they have something going on Wednesdays, say, you know what, we're live, just tune it in, listen to it, and I think they're really going to like what they see. And then lastly, we have bathrooms. Women's is through that door, and the men's is behind me. So we want to thank our host sponsor, the Mega Workplace. Pam, where are you at? I know Pam's here somewhere, but we want to thank Pam and George for offering up this space every week so we can have these awesome meetings that we're having. We also want to thank our sponsors. The coffee sponsor is Foxtail Coffee. So if you're out and about and you want to have a meeting, I had a meeting with Zulik, one of our organizers. We went to Foxtail over in Houston. Thank them for sponsoring us. Our donut sponsor is United Southern Bank. So we want to thank them for sponsoring the donuts. We are opening up, as we've talked about, we're going to open up the donut sponsor on a quarterly basis for someone else. So if you're interested in sponsoring the donuts, please let us know. We'll go through what that process is. And we have Brandy Lake, who's going to be our second quarter donut sponsor. So she's going to be taking care of that. So we thank you for that. So who is a first time here today? All right, so I can't, because I'll forget everybody that's here. If you're a first timer, please stand up. And we're going to have everybody introduce themselves. We're going to start right here. Just name and business. If you don't have a business, just your name. Earl, thank you.
James Ball from Ball Control Audio and Lighting.
Thank you.
Rick Copley and Power Meal Prep and Lake Commissary Kitchen.
Teresa Copley and Power Meal Prep.
Carol McKelvey, Finding Your Solutions.
Hey, I'm John with QBlue.com.
Stephanie Slisowski, Thrivent Financial Services.
Thank you. In the back.
Barbara Bonner, Wellbrook. Pam Dion, To Be Wired.
Did we miss anybody?
Back guy.
No.
I'm not new, but I have opened up my own web agency, so So now it's, instead of with Drive, it's Matt Guy with Pinpoint Web Studio.
All right, thank you. Let's give our first round of applause. So, what is 1 Million Cups? For our first time visitors, what it is and what it's not. It is presenters and it's not pitches. The presenters send us their PowerPoint, their presentation, we review it, because one, we want to make sure that they get the most from their time presenting. It is not coming up here pitching their product. It's not coming up trying to raise money for their product. It is a challenge and what we kind of like to refer to as the what keeps them up at night thoughts in their business. They come up here, they present those challenges, and then everybody in attendance is to give them feedback on how to overcome that. It is connections and not networking. So we come to connect. Oh, we have another first time?
First timer.
Tell us who you are.
Marcus, Sadie,
What's your business?
plumbing.
Plumbing. Thank you for being here. So we come here and we connect. We don't network. We want this to be a safe place where you can feel like I'm going to go. I'm going to meet some connections. I'm not going to try to get sold to from our audience. We're not here to sell our presenters our products. We're just here to support. It's probably the best, and no problems about it. It is the best business-to-business support program, I think, in the country. So we want everybody here. If you know somebody you think this would be helpful to on either side, in the audience, attending here or up front, please bring them. For presenters, we always think that the best thing to do, come one time just to see what it's about, get a feel for it, and then if you think you want to present, we'll go ahead and get you up here to present. So here's a quick video and a testimonial from one of our organizers, Wendy Taylor.
Taylor, and I'm with the UCF Incubator. Hi, my name is Wendy Taylor, and I'm with the UCF Incubator. And why do I like 1 Million Cups? I enjoy 1 Million Cups because it gives me a sense of community and participating and helping young entrepreneurs solve their what's keeping them up at night. I encourage you to join us every Wednesday from 8:30 to 10. Join us for 1 Million Cups and be part of the community, helping other entrepreneurs solve their what's keeping them up at night problems.
Almost like she stole that from me.
Hi, my name is Wendy Taylor.
All right, so what we will do after the presentation today, we're gonna give away. We kind of went on a minimalist today with some of the stuff that we have to give away. We want to appreciate everybody's time for being here today. So we'll draw a card. Somebody's going to get their pick of whatever they would like to choose from. So who is eligible to present? So we kind of like to say it's from A to Z. If you have a business idea or concept, and we've had a couple of presenters with that, and you want feedback from everybody that is attending, is it a good idea? Get some legs? How do we move this forward? We want you up here. It doesn't even have to have gone to the next step. If it's just a thought that you think would be a good business, come up and present. If you have a newer business that's 1 to 5 years, the support behind the program when this was started is to help newer businesses be successful. Generally, after 5 years, businesses, the failure rate on businesses is minimal. The failure rate on businesses 1 to 5 years is where the greatest risk is. This is what this program is for, to help them succeed and get past those challenges so they can hit that 5-year mark. So if you have a business 1 to 5 years old with a what keeps you up at night concern, we want you to present and get some great feedback from everyone in attendance. And then an established business, and again, it's 1 to 5 years, but an established business, if you're looking to expand your business and you're not sure how to do that, we've had some of those presentations. We also want you here and presenting to get some thoughts because we have successful people. We've got a room full of successful people. We want their expertise on how to do some of these areas. There may be weeks that you might have a presentation that just doesn't connect, but I guarantee you there's going to be weeks where there's going to be multiple areas within their presentation that you're going to have gone through and challenges you've gotten past in your business that you can help get back to our presenters. All right, so we want you to stay connected. If you have not, go to our website. It's Lake County/Eustis 1 Million Cups. Like the page, you'll get some updates as we move forward. We're on Facebook. Like our page so you can get updates and get notifications on different meetings and different things coming up in the meeting. And then, what else we got, Monty? We got our QR code, we're on YouTube now. I mean, we're growing every week and expanding our presence. John?
Another first timer.
Another first time. Introduce yourself, name your business.
Working Creative, it's security consulting for me. My wife's about to be upstairs. She does photography, headshots, real estate photography.
What's your name?
I'm John.
John. Welcome, John.
My wife's name's Julie.
Welcome, Julie, when she comes upstairs. So, if you're interested in becoming an organizer, we would love to have you every week. Not everybody can be here, life happens, business happens, so we always need extra help. These are the organizers right now that we have. Again, if you have thoughts on how we can improve the meeting, contact one of us and we will get you going. If you want to become an organizer, just go to the 1 Million Cups website. At the top, it'll say, there'll be a tab for organize, click on that, fill it out, and we'll get you added to the team. So our question of the day, because, and this is kind of directly related to our presenter today, in business, if you were going to give a young entrepreneur, our next wave of business owners, the best advice you could give, what advice would you give them? Who we got on the mics right now? We've got Amanda and Jared. So, raise your hand, Ben.
My number one piece of advice is not on the calendar. It's probably not going to happen.
Very good.
Right.
I'll be fluffier than that. Sorry, Matt. This is not only for entrepreneurs, but I think business and life in general, but people will rarely remember what you say or what you do, but they'll always remember how you made them feel. And I know I stole that from some smart person, but that's something that I try to live my life by.
I think I told you that first time we ever met. I will say my number one piece of advice, we've all been in business, some of us for quite a while. You gotta love what you do. Get up and look forward to what you are going to do and go to work to do every day. Anyone else? Rick Hackman, you've been successful.
Don't recall raising my hand, but what happened?
I thought I saw it. Sure.
For me, and this is a conversation I've had a couple of times today already, it's all about scaling. You're growing your business, you have to understand that scaling is a thing. You may be able to sell one widget to somebody and make some money, maybe 10. How are you going to do 100 or 1,000 or 10,000? It's all about scaling and growing those systems as you grow your business and learning how to do that. And when you're new and young and just starting out, you just need to understand that that is a thing. You don't know what those systems are yet, don't know how to do it yet, but you'll have to learn.
Jeremy? And Rick's been one, and his wife Teresa, that I've been trying to get here for weeks. And a good example, I don't care how we get him here, let's get him here because I think they're going to really like what we got. Go ahead, Jeremy, and then Christina.
You have to do things that scare the crap out of you forever.
That's a good one. Know your value and charge for it. Just because you're a new business doesn't mean you have to discount your services. It's a lot easier to grow and scale and get those systems in place if you start charging the right amount.
John.
Supercharge your customer service.
Great.
Commit to whatever you're doing, and then the other big thing is treat people the way you want to be treated.
All right, last one, Officer Code.
One thing my brother always told me is be careful of making your hobby your business, because then you don't want to get burned out on it. So if you really enjoy it, go for it. But if it's a hobby, be careful of making it your business.
All right, some great advice. Hopefully we can, and we may visit that question again. We had the kids from the Useless Entrepreneurs Club attend a couple of months ago. And if they come back and do some presentations, we may revisit that, because that's some great advice for our young presenters. So, speaking of our young presenters, we have a first today. We have our first young adult that is presenting. So, there's only going to be one presenter, and it is Sadie Foster. So, Sadie is going to give us a 6-minute presentation. Again, the presentations, they're not set in stone, and you don't have to stop at 6 minutes. Kind of just a guideline, but it is an idea to start wrapping that up, because we want to give you the most time for the feedback from everybody in attendance, and then we're going to have about 20 minutes of interactive feedback from the audience. So if we can, let's give the best round of applause we've had yet to a presenter for Sadie Foster.
treat business. But first, I am going to talk about my family, also known as my first supporters. There are Wade, Trey, Damon, Sadie, me, Daisy, Zane, and Ace, and then Mom and Dad. They are who actually started me getting my brain into dog treat business. Because I needed, my why. I needed I needed money to go to my church youth camp so that I could spread the word of God. And I didn't have money for that, so Mom went to a store. She brought home a doggy treat kit, and I started doing that. And Mom posted it on Facebook, and once they were on for 3 seconds, there were 3 orders, and they went by fast. So I went and looked up doggy treat ingredients where they were easy to make, and I needed something small and easy. And once I started, they just got easier, and now I memorized everything I have to do for them. And then I needed more help, but I got it all by myself. And now I have a ton of customers, some from my church, some from Empowerment Prep, and it's just been growing and growing, and I need some more feedback. Now I'm going to talk about this. When I make them, I listen to my music so that I'm not being distracted by my 6 siblings. There is a lot of commotion. But they're fun to be around, but when I'm working, I can't be distracted. I have gone through 4 kinds of packaging with this, and it's fun to pick the packaging you want. I also have some of my satisfied customers. There is Beast, Moo and Elfie, Pretzel, and Fidelis. They are ones that have ordered some more than others, and they are very fun dogs. So I have 2 kinds of treats. The same kind, but one's bigger. This is the regular sized treats, and I make my treats with I got to remember where it was. There's coconut flour, banana, egg, oats, and peanut butter. And all of the treats I make. There is no added preservatives, nothing of any of that sort. I keep them in the freezer so that they last longer. The freezer, you can keep them in there for 3 months. You can keep them in the fridge for 3 weeks, and you can keep them on the shelf for 3 days, or else they'll mold. I don't like that. There's also the Hearty Delight, which I just started. It's mostly 6 of the regular treats put together, and then I add an extra treat on top. And then after it's done cooking, I add a peanut butter glaze and then a pretzel. I started with the pretzel because of the dog pretzel, because he was the first one who ordered. And then places I currently sell my treats: Empowerment Prep, which is just down the road, Facebook, and word of mouth. It's pretty big when you have a lot of people with dogs. And then my asks are do's and don'ts for vendor spaces. All right, vendors, I'm presenting today because I have a free vendor space at a dog thing, and I needed some info for like what do I put on the vendor space and what I don't. That's my whole reason in presenting today. And then other suggestions to help grow my business. Who else can I partner with to sell my treats? And how can I market my business most efficiently?
All right, ready? I got that one. All right. I think we're off to a great start. You know what? We're gonna do a little. We're gonna go back one. I want to leave it there. Just if you have a dog, so we can get a picture of the QR code, and maybe we can have a whole new other supply chain for Sadie. So where do we want to start? Thoughts, questions, Pam?
Can you put up the 4 questions you're asked again, bring those up?
Hey Sadie, good job, great job. I think you did a really good job on your presentation and on your product. So right now you're doing it through vendor spaces and through marketing on Facebook. What that does is put a lot of pressure on you. All your sales are coming through you. So if you really want to get more business, you gotta go out there and find people who can sell your product for you. So go to some of the local boutique stores, like Cozy Corners down the street here, or Pause and Effect, or Piglet's Pantry, and introduce yourself to those people and leave some samples with them to try with their pets. And then that way you're gonna be having other people sell your product for you and take orders, so it's not gonna all be on your plate.
Okay, good idea. Thank you.
So, and one thing, my wife does some vendor events, and I know you have some coming up. You want to be up front, put things on your table. I love the satisfied customers. You put things on your table that will draw people to the table, and then kind of let them see what it is, and then tell them about your product. Pat?
You know, I think that long term, you could really have some potential here in the county with places like Ace Hardware, Kate Carter, that owns the majority of the ones here, Tractor Supply. So there's going to be some bigger clients that you get into. If you go down those, you're going to be doing almost mass production at that point from your standards. But one thing that's going to be important to get there is you're going to need something, a product that has a shelf life, that doesn't need to be in the freezer. So playing around and finding a new recipe or additional recipes. And then for some of the vendor spaces, do's and don'ts, you know, be yourself. That is the biggest do. Everyone is going to love the passion that you have and what you already bring to the table. The other thing I would encourage you to do is just have a simple list of these are for these treats, these are the ingredients, these are the ingredients. People just have that transparency. People are particularly about their little fluffy children that they have. And then how to market your business. I think that's the outside of doing things like this and outside of Facebook, you know, have your own little channel that you communicate to. Whether, you know, this will be something you have to do permission from your parents for, but if you're able to do anything that's video based, that will help you to articulate more of the story behind the treats to get yourself out there a little bit more.
While Amanda goes to the next question, we got a couple over here. A couple thoughts. I think it's a great idea to put the ingredient list, because I think sometimes people are more concerned about what's going in their pet than they are their kids. So that's going to be important. And my question to you, just to think about, if you have, how big do you want to take this? And I think that's something you have to think about. Is this something I just want to do a little bit more on a part, or is this something that I really want to see grow into something that could be maybe a career? So something to think about. Where do you want to go with this? Barbara.
Hi, Sadie. When I was about your age in high school, I ran several small businesses like that. I cycled through a few. And like Pam was talking about, of either consigning or getting someone to wholesale buy that is an option. And there are a lot of businesses that would be glad to have that conversation with you. But then you do have the responsibility of having to keep up that stock. And so if it's something that you want to do seasonal, I would really suggest you focus on getting more vendor spaces at events, like the craft fairs, if there's any sort of local dog shows or dog training, and picking something more seasonal. Because your initial motivation was summer camp money, correct? And so if you do go to Carter's Ace and get standing order from them, you'll have to fulfill that. And since it's just you, that's something to consider. With the vendor spaces, I agree with some of the comments of the satisfied customers as being a good way to kind of get people's attention at your booth. Storytelling is big for why your product over someone else. And so your own story, your own motivation, and then also kind of that response of going, oh, this is how it went when someone bought that product.
Right.
Great job, Sadie. Unbelievable. In terms of your time, so you're doing this all basically by yourself, correct?
Yes.
So in terms of your time, how much time is spent making the treats and getting them packaged and everything like that, roughly? 50% of the
2
time?
to 3 hours on Saturdays.
Okay. Because in terms of, I mean, you've got a small army behind you in terms of right in the house, and kind of to dovetail with what Margaret and I think it was mentioned earlier about the strength that you bring is what you're doing right now. You know, the initiative that you're taking, and quite frankly, the courage, you know, at your age to be doing what you're doing, that's what you bring to it. So if you're able to get in front of, you know, we'll keep using Ace Hardware, Carter's Ace Hardware, of a place to potentially be as distributors, perhaps that's where some of your time, as long as you're still be able to fulfill the orders that they start having. So in terms of planning, that is something to kind of keep in mind of, you know, as I'm able to go out and make some connections and develop some what's called distribution points so that they do the selling for you, then you have to be able to be prepared to make the treats and keep the orders going. So definitely leverage the army that you have behind you.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to piggyback on what Matthew said, where we went to, tell your story. What got you started is amazing, because you know you're wanting to go to youth camp and spread God's word, and you raised the money to do that. People will love that story, and they're going to love it because it's a great story. But then who's not going to want to buy from somebody that started that way? Alan.
I agree with you completely. Sadie, your presentation was great. I congratulate you. My one comment, just picking up on the vendor space, I'd like to encourage you to consider talking to the city and being part of the First Friday festivals and all the things that happen here, because that's a monthly thing, and you could plan to have a product to have available and get a good booth space and do that. You only have to have a 10 and an 8-foot table. So our 6-foot, 8-foot table. So I encourage you there and have a lot of supplies, because there's a lot of people bring their dogs to First Friday. Okay? Congratulations.
Great job, Sadie. Very proud of you. Veterinarians. There's a lot of places around here, so you're in a great location to be able to drop off little packets of that. And the other big thing I want to let you know is, and to just focus on, is have fun and learn from what you're doing. Because you're going to have days where you're going to be frustrated and all that. But remember, this is just a stepping stone. You don't know where God's going to take you. It could be a different business. It may not be this one, but just remember to really have fun and write down everything that's not working and what worked, because it's going to help you in whatever you do in the future.
Hi, Sadie. Again, great job. And I just want to piggyback on what a lot of people have been saying. So definitely get to know what your production that you can do, have it be weekly or monthly, and then start maybe reaching out to pet grooming services, and you can maybe partner up with one of them and see if after they get groomed, that you can have like a free sample get sent home with them, or get them going with that with a free sample. And then also, as Matthew was saying, if you already have, I'm not sure if you already have like a Facebook page or anywhere where you're, okay. So it's definitely good. So if you are able to put the word out there about the company and give out those free samples for people to be able to reach you and kind of see the ingredients that you're putting in there, and the whole backing behind your company.
All right, we're going to go Austin, Jeremy, Marie, and then we'll start working our way back to this side. Great.
Great presentation, Sandy.
First off, my fiance is a mobile groomer, so I would love to get your info and see what we can work out through there. But I do see a good potential for maybe a subscription-based service, where maybe somebody gets a big box, maybe with the pretzel, I think you said it was the heart. I don't remember. Yes. They get one of those, maybe a couple bags of that, and then they can throw that in the freezer, and then to keep your customer loyalty, maybe they get one box a month or something like that. I'm not sure what your delivery options are, but I can see that as being a good way to retain customers.
Hi, Sadie. Great presentation. Specifically for vendor spaces, as you attend vendor events, there's been a lot of conversation about, wholesaling through other vendors or selling direct to customers. And those are two different types of events. So the event that you're going to and the vendor table that you have, I'd encourage you to look at who's going to be in attendance to tailor your message. Because if you're trying to sell to a business to resell for you, there's a different message to them versus somebody walking up to your table and saying, hey, I want to buy these for my own dog, or maybe buy right there at the table. If you are selling at the table, then the logistics with the short shelf life of how do they take this home if they're at an outdoor event in Florida, what is that going to do to the shelf life of the product if they buy it at your table? And then the last thing, it would be the follow-up after the event. So no matter who is attending your event, having a plan for follow-up for whoever comes up to that booth. How are you capturing their information so you can reach out to them and thank them and market to them after the event? Because that's where the majority of your future sales will come through that marketing effort versus people just walking up to your table.
I agree.
Excellent presentation. And we are becoming a real dog-friendly area. Yes, there's events Friday nights, so dogs are welcome. As far as marketing, if you haven't already thought of it, the George Fest Dog Jog is taking place before the parade. If you can be in the parade with your animal, if you have one, or one you can borrow, you can do your advertising on your dog. You will be with other people that love their animals because that's why they're in the dog jog, and you can do your own one-on-one marketing with those people while you walk with them, while you're in the parade. So, and you can market that. You can put it on Facebook, say, we're going to be in the parade, come see us, we're celebrating George Fest, and you will make connections just by participating in that. And 20,000 people here for that event does not hurt.
Let's go to Rick and then Pat, and then we'll go with it.
First of all, a quick testimonial on that picture with all those cute dogs. My dog is the cutest one up there. One we named Pretzel, of course. So every day, Pretzel gets a Sadie's dog treat, and as soon as we say the word Sadie, he gets super excited, knocks everybody down, licks everybody's face, sits right in front of the refrigerator, give it to him, he savors it. Delaney was there one time. Delaney came to our house for a meeting, and I'm like, watch it, savor it. Anyway, Sadie's treats are amazing. Vendor spaces. Get a partner up with a photographer. Meet someone that does photography. Have them give away a free pet photography session and raffle that off. So when people come to your booth and say, hey, you say, yeah, I'm Sadie, I talked to you, hey, you want a free pet photography session? Someone, my friend photographer who you'll meet at some point, I'm sure, they're going to give it to you, get their contact information. That way you can market to these people. And as far as your product, the fact that it goes in the refrigerator, relatively small container, and it goes away and people want more, that's a fantastic thing. How many, go to the supermarket, how many pet-friendly products you see in the refrigerator? Not many, so your product is fantastic. Keep up the good work, and I've been meaning to contact Delaney and you. I want to have a meeting with you guys because we are expanding. We're going to make the announcement next week, but Pretzel's Best is expanding, and so we're going to be offering dog food, and we're going to be partnering with Sadie's Dog Treats on that. So as far as production goes, I do happen to know someone, me, that owns a commercial kitchen, so we're going to have a deeper conversation on the episode. Great job.
All right, and this is for everyone. Were you here when Byron, the photographer, presented a couple of weeks ago?
I think so.
Yeah, we got, was Sadie here that day? Yeah, he's the one that would be a perfect idea.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to Byron. Todd, and then we'll go to
Todd Henley, neighbors of Lake Eustis. Rick stole about everything I was going to say. Thank you, sir. Yeah, you do have a name at Lake Commissary Kitchen, and your 2 to 3 hours on a Saturday could be multiplied by your production, just being in a commercial environment. So definitely think about that. I was going to say at vendor spaces, of course you have to give out samples, but if your sample is, can I take a picture of your dog enjoying the treat right here? And then you've got their dog enjoying the treat while you're doing it, get their contact info. And then to tag off what Marie said, in March, I know Barbara, the funeral director lady, is having a mutt march. So it's another parade of dogs. That would be another great spot for you guys. That's all I have.
Linda King with Aflac. I just wanted to bring up, if nobody has mentioned it yet, that there's a dog park in Eustis. And you could go out there on a Saturday or on an afternoon and offer samples and interest people in your treats there.
Yeah, you could do like a little single sampler with your QR code on the back, pass them out. Great idea. That is.
All right, so everyone else's ideas remind me of something. So I know another business owner out more toward Orlando, but she owns Focus. I think I mentioned it to you in the past, but she specifically, she's a dog trainer and a dog photographer, and she was mentored by Caesar Malone, the dog whisperer. But outside of everything else, she actually does a lot of education for and trains the pet owners on how to really train their dogs. But you know, when it comes to my suggestion about having other treats and varieties that are shelf life, I think that we should be a really great resource as well, because different breeds have different tolerances, right? And that's something that she understands and she knows as well. So maybe you can even work with her, one, on that photography package to be able to offer that to people, but also to find out, you know, what are some other ingredients that you know can enhance these, and you can market that. Say these ingredients are great for your dog's breath. These ingredients are great for your dog's mental health, or for bone density, or for this or that. And she can really help guide you on what those ingredients are, and even get breed specific, so you can have more of a plethora that you offer people.
We're gonna go, we got some Facebook comments, and then we'll go, Christina and then Todd. So we're gonna go to Lane first.
I can't hold that. Thank you, Gary. All right. Mary Ann with Accredited Bookkeeping said, at a vendor table, be sure to have a giveaway. A ton of people said, great job, Sadie, well done, all of you. Mary Ann also said, make your ticket for the drawing have email and dog name on it so that you can thank them and their dog for coming to your booth and allow them to place orders with you there. Also, there are farmers markets in the villages at the Brownwood Square each Saturday. And the seniors in the villages really love their dogs, and usually money isn't an issue. Thank you, Mary.
So do you really want to graduate high school, or do you want to be an
Christina. Great job, Sadie. I'm Christina with CC Insurance. I would encourage your clients to tag you in videos, like the mental picture that Rick talked about with his dog Pretzel. Oh, you went to Sadie Street? Like, I think it would be so adorable seeing a lot of videos, and people love animal videos of little dogs getting their treats. So maybe you could offer some sort of discount, like if they're a repeat customer, if they tag you, and keep your Facebook filled with videos of them having their treats.
I want to say great job, Todd Seco's thing. I don't have dogs, but one of the slides that you showed was your highlighted customers, the dogs. And I know dog people in my world, they treat their dogs a lot like their children, so they love their dogs, and there's their pictures. Something maybe in the future to think about is having a dog of the month, or maybe if you have all the different customers, all the different dogs, maybe have one that's blank and say, ask me how to put your dog here, and if they purchase 5 or 10, or if they purchase from you 6 months in a row, they get added to the list.
Great job, Kate. Great job, Sadie. I'm Kate Manley, the president of the Apopka Area Chamber of Commerce. You did excellent. I have a suggestion for any of your broken, when you're baking, if any of your broken cookies come out, that should be your sample. So put those in a jar and make sure that that's what you take around with you. And then there may even be a chance where you can use them for, you can sell them too, where you can package them and have a little discount for the broken cookies. But if you're going around and you're out at a dog park or something like that, those could definitely be your samples. So that, I know a lot of people have talked about having those samples when we're not eating them, so the dog won't mind.
Marie with Reyes Family Catering Business. My dog, obviously the cutest one out there was Fidelis, a big goofy pit bull doing homework at the table. I will say the fact that they are freezable, to me here in Florida is an advantage. There's nothing that Fidelis will not do. He will jump over the couch. I mean, I live in a house with 5 boys, so it's not a big deal. He will jump over the couch and he will sit perfectly and just wait when he knows that that crinkle is happening. And the fact that it is frozen, to me, he likes it even more because he'll take ice cubes and eat them. This is Florida, it's hot, he's a dog, he's got hair. So he really likes them frozen. My concern is you're gonna have to get people to have a small refrigerator. When you do the vendor space, if you can have a mini fridge even, or something if they have a hookup. But I just wanted to make sure everybody knew my dog was the cutest.
So hello Jermaine, a bit late. Just wanted to mention to you that someone who's been in retail and sales for years in my past career. Don't have a dog either, but something they did teach us was that when you have a customer and you interact with your child, which in this case would be the dog, acknowledge the dog first, get the dog's name like someone said here, and have a small conversation with them. Hey, how you like a treat, buddy? That automatically engages their dog. And then that's how you get your sale. So when they come to your table, my advice to you is, hey, what's his name? Talk to the dog first, acknowledge the dog first, and then you have a sale. Okay?
So I'm gonna propose a question to Kaylee from a legal standpoint. Any thoughts or advice that she needs to do as the business moves forward, trademarking names, anything along those lines?
So I actually had some notes that I was going to talk to her mom about. But as I hear everybody give awesome suggestions on marketing and building your customer base, obviously customer agreements and contracts are really important. But something that I really want to see is a liability waiver, because if people will sue over their children getting sick over something, they're definitely going to sue over their dog getting sick over something. That might just be coming from an attorney's perspective who's also a dog owner. On top of that, of course, with business formation purposes, you want to go ahead and get your company set up with the state, get your EIN, all of that kind of stuff, so that you have all of that legitimate, and then start trademarking that name. Because if you're gonna, serve all of these people, because I assume they're all going to be ordering after this week, then we want to see a bank account established so you can start collecting funds appropriately and keeping it separate from your personal life. And then trademarking so that only you can be Sadie's Dog Treats and nobody else is coming after you for that, because we want to see your name and face up there all the time and not somebody else coming to try and take your business from you.
Great advice. All right, this would generally be about the time that we end, but I think we got a good thing going, so what do you say, 5 more minutes? All right, who's next?
To me, your challenges are you've got a product with a limited shelf life, whether it's in a freezer or it's on the shelf. Secondly is distribution. If you have people that are purchasing your product at a vendor space, they could be living anywhere, though they might be local, they might not be. So to me, you should look at having fewer customers with bigger orders. If the people that have dogs are saying that the dog is all excited about it, obviously you can give your dog more than one a day. So, to me, your best customers are, or most likely customers, or most profitable customers are the closest people to your house where you live. And those should be the people you should concentrate on, because they're close by, you can deliver to them, you'll know them, and they probably have a freezer that you can give them a larger quantity. So I would look at marketing in the dog park, to me, is the best idea that's come out of here, because there you have a group of people that are into their animals. You can set it up so that you have a certain day when you can deliver to them. They can order and pay you for it, so you get paid before you have to distribute your product. So I would concentrate on dog parks, but I wouldn't overdo it, because the last thing you want is being up all night producing your product. So to me, you want fewer customers with bigger orders.
Sadie, that was an excellent presentation. I would like to say to you, I saw in your video that it's labor intense and you get your hands into it because you're doing everything yourself today. But I would say, take some time to learn the business of business. So when I say that, glean from other people that are doing like what you're doing, and then get some ideas, and they can tell you about the pitfalls of growing businesses, and that saves you that headache in the future. So I would say, while you're working, take time to learn the business of business, how it's done. Then that way you have a better idea of which way you want to go, and it also gives you information about growing your business.
Yeah, and one follow-up on what has been mentioned a couple of times with local owners. Go to, I start with individual dog stores, because individual owners are going to be much more willing to work with an individual person rather than trying to go to like a PetSmart, because that's all got to probably go through corporate and all that. But start with all the local shops, because they're going to be more than happy to take care of your product. Oh, Al.
Sadie, like everybody else, great presentation. Just a couple of things. Number one is your availability. You've got some great ideas today. You're probably going to triple your sales pretty quickly. Do you have the time availability to keep up? Start thinking about when you might have to add some additional help. And then the second thing, second question I would ask is your price right? So I would suggest you talk to John about, making sure that all of your costs are factored into your price, so that you're hitting the profit profit expectations that you need to get.
Yeah, great point, Al. John, raise your hand. I know you know John. That's John. And to Greg's point earlier when we started on the question of the day, value your time when you put all of this together and you factor in. Your time is very valuable as well.
Jim, just make sure you know what your gross margin is on your products, okay? So that you're making enough money to make it worth your while.
All right, we got about a minute and a half left.
Hi, Sadie. You're doing a great job, and I know you're getting a lot of really good information. Your head's probably swimming right now. Just a few fun tips for your vendor space. And if you're going to start doing some of these vendor booths, you're going to want to go out there and have fun. It looks like you're marketing your product in purple, so you want to have like a purple tablecloth, a shirt with your company name on it. Make it cute, make it fun, and make it so that people recognize it as soon as they see that booth, they notice you automatically just by the way you've branded and marketed yourself. But be out in the front of the table, don't stand behind it, and just talk to people and share your passion and make it fun.
All right, Ray Ladies, last question.
Sadie, you've got a lot of information here, so which is awesome. But as a community, what can we do to help you moving forward?
Spread the word.
Spread the word. Perfect. Perfect.
Thank you.
Great job.
Could you put your logo back up?
All right, so this is the community announcement time of our meeting. I'm going to walk a microphone over to Marie, because I know she's got a lot going on.
Thank you. Marie Alberti, President and CEO of the Lake Eustis Area Chamber of Commerce. A few announcements. Friday night we had our first young professionals at the Chamber office on the lake. We missed some of you, but you're going to get another opportunity on March 15th. Please check the Facebook for the announcements. They have a program all set up. They have a great speaker. You can contact Margaret, Monty, Zuli, and get that information. And we had a really good turnout. I was very, very impressed. And the connections that are made are invaluable. So please think about joining that group. We also are thinking about getting a Toastmasters together. There's a minimum of 25. If you're interested, stop by, call the office, and we'll get a list started to get one in Eustis. And I know some of you are in Toastmasters, but they drive to Apopka for it. So if we can have one right here, again, your presentation skills are invaluable. You never know when you're going to be on the stage. So if you're interested in doing that, it's a fun activity. It makes you more confident, but it is fun, and you have a supportive group of people to urge you on. So interested in that, contact us. George Fest. Okay. This Saturday, the African American Heritage Parade, we're participating in that. That might be something that if you haven't gone before, you go. Depending upon the weather, I keep getting really bad reports, but we'll just play it by ear. It's Florida, let's go with it. So Saturday morning is the parade. Saturday evening is the first concert in the park. The concert's free. It's Bryce Maudlin. And again, we'll be there set up with the chamber. Please come out. And then Sunday we have our chili cook-off in front of the chamber building. We have about 10, 11 entries. A lot of them are in law enforcement, and it gets really cutthroat. So it's good that they're in law enforcement, and they'll be there. The chili cook-off also coincides with the bass tournament. So the bass tournament is taking place also on Sunday. And they'll do their weigh-in at 2 o'clock, and then we start our tasting at 2 o'clock. So if you want to come out and participate, and just see part of our community, that's a beautiful thing. The following week, we have a bike parade in the park with the police department, 6 o'clock the 21st in Fairham Park. Decorate your bikes, little ones, up to 12. Come on out, and there are prizes for that. So it's fun, family, and freedom for the whole week. And then the following weekend, again, Friday night, the carnival comes into town Thursday night, so for the kids. And Friday night and Saturday night are just jam-packed. Please get the book that's out that gives a detailed description of every event. And if you have a question, call the city or call the chamber, and we will help you out and decide which events you want to get to. So I think that's it.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Ray Vegas from Leeds. So totally in the flow of what Sadie's conversation, one MC is all about. We are going to be launching our first, what's called a fast track program. Monty might have mentioned this in weeks prior. But it's basically going to be starting March 19th, and it goes for 10 weeks, every Tuesday from 3 to 5 o'clock. And it goes through a whole discipline from starting your business, or you taking your idea and then going to business plan. And so I think this would be perfect for Sadie to go through. Hopefully you have the time for that. Now, part of that is we pull subject matter experts for different modules. Jared's going to be talking about something. If you don't know, Jared, in addition to being a small business owner with his coffee, is also a professor for entrepreneurship at Valencia College. So he's going to be taking the module on something called business model canvas planning, which is, I think, perfect for what you need because it's very visual and it's a great way to kind of take all these ideas that you just got, Sadie, and kind of make some sense out of it. Kaylee, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun, but kind of what she had talked a little bit about in terms of business formation, she's going to be taking the module, for business formation and potentially for planning for business exits and things like that. So again, keep an eye out. We'll have a flyer together soon, but we'll be right here in this room every Tuesday from 3 to 5 or 6, starting March 19th. Thank you.
And I just want to pick up on something that Marie said about Toastmasters. Jerry Snell and I are helping with that, start that chapter. So if anybody's here and wants more information, or at least provide us your information or contact information, so we're aware of the fact that you would be interested in being a part of the Toastmasters, please see us, because we're trying to put that group of 25 together. Thank you.
Melissa.
Hey, Melissa with Crafted Sunflower. Something else that's happening during George Fest is on Monday night, the 19th. If you guys come down, it's not in the book, so it was added after. Come down to Farron Park. You can do scents and sounds in the park. We're going to be making candles. The city of Eustis is going to be giving away 100 candles. So come down. We'll have different George Fest scents, and you can come make candles with us. So that's Monday the 19th at 6 o'clock.
Great. Any other community announcements? I will piggyback. I did Toastmasters many years ago. It's a great program. So if getting up in front is intimidating, that's the place to start. So, speaking of the devil, for our winner today of our swag giveaway, it's Kayla Smith. All right, so any other community announcements before we wrap up? In the back.
Hey guys, I'm Brittany Boscana. We have an event in the summer. It's called Lake Quest. It's a scavenger hunt by boat on the Harris-Shannon Lakes. It's super fun. Great way to get to know people in the community. But about a month before the event, we start hiding little gators around town in small businesses to try to connect everybody together. So it's a really fun thing to get your family involved in, and you'll start seeing posts on social media where to find them, bring them to our event. Which charity? Oh yeah, and this year we're donating to Lake Harris with all the sponsorships and stuff.
All right, so before we go to our group picture, let's give Sadie one more big round of applause. So we will wrap up. If we can do the group picture, and I think today, let's do the whole foster family up front and center, if we could please. Let's focus on Sadie, and then everybody else gather up here, and we will do the group picture. I'm not sure, did we get a count today? 53, so one of the biggest ones we've had yet. Thank you, everyone.
Great, thanks. I go here, and I can do save contact.
I don't have a picture.
I'm gonna take your picture. And,
Look, I got two different earrings.
I recall that's really cute.
I was like, I couldn't decide if I was going to party, Valentine's Day, or computer for Valentine's Day. Make me look skinny and pretty. That's good. I look happy.
And it does. Continue.
There you go.
Continue.
I look tan. Oh my gosh.
And done.
I don't look that skinny though. I look that skinny.
It's done. It's done.
That's what happens when you hit menopause. Y'all know about that.
No, we don't.
Yeah, you go live. Oh, no. She needs to get the pedals down.
We're very
They take your but I don't like medication Yeah, I don't know.
But anyhow, she's been on it for some years, and she will never. She's but you saw my mother. My mother is 88 years old. And my mother, haven't you? My mother was she doesn't manage. She kept her young, and it's just it keeps your hormone balance.
And sometimes if you're not sleep, for me it was sleep. I can't go without sleep. I'm paying sleep is not one of them. And you get up and you feel right. Yes. So that was the biggest issue in my life. But you know what? I always fancy myself looking at like the hot flashes sometimes. I only get most of them. When they come, I'm like, oh my gosh, my body's moving. I'm like, how incredible is this? I just heated up out of nowhere. And I'm like taking it in. I'm like, oh, but it doesn't happen very often. So at least that's right. That's good. I will see you tomorrow.
The past 2 weeks we've been going through pack training, and so the mornings are especially hectic. Fun is the word. Fun is such a good word. Yes, so that's exactly what I'm doing. She loves copying everything her mom does. The problem is, when she's playing, she doesn't feel like she's like something. So luckily I have one of those little portable potties, and I look at it and it's like she's a little Barbie in the house. I'm like, fun. So we're figuring it out. We're getting there. It's gonna take a while. And a lot of consistency. I have 3 girls. Yes. stopped. I told my mom the same. She was like, so I figured out the 2-year-old. Imagine having a 32-year-old on a 2-year-old. I'm like, they don't hesitate to let me know that they were there to watch the Is this even the 1-year slide?
That's the other thing. We're going to have little strips for your mailbox holder. They're going to make little hangs from your mailbox. I'm going to have a bunch of different, we're going to start with maybe 5 to 10 templates options. That's right. Like 6 or 8 weeks. But the other thing is, it's actually home insurance company shows them. The other idea is that you would realtors or business like you would, and then you would like help you sell it, you make it.
That way, she can get on it. She was on Facebook. Now she has passed that. She got some business out of it. She's like my comment and say, I also recommend so-and-so.
Kill it.
And for, exactly, because we all have a good That is the definition of a report. But if I don't have the name or the email, but somebody either president or I just don't have access to the information, or again, if they leave that I'm recommending, but we're in a relationship, then at that point, I have to wait for it to close, and we have to have another room, and I have to have a relationship with you to find out, hey, this is closed. Otherwise, I am fairly happy. I'm probably missing, I don't know, $5,000 to pay my closures from all the tasks that I've done that they never told me a match that way. And that tells me that people they got called from that person. And that's where I think getting to that screenshot and texting page. We have to create an assistant outside of the and then we're asking for the future. This needs to be a relationship. We figured it out. That's one of the reasons why she and I are asking for it. It's not a whole chapter of course. I'm not going to be posting every time I recommend somebody. Now, for people early on that or people that are learning how to use it, yes, I'm not doing the answer that I didn't get. If I did it every time, that WhatsApp would have every notification. Exactly.
what new challenges come up.
I like that. I was looking at similar-ish one, but.
Just one of those things like you're still coughing on
And then next week, if you respond, if he doesn't respond, then we have to ask. And then I'll try this one, and you should have it.
I've got to run.
Yes.
Monty, I owe you thanks. Are you going to the 100?